Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is 1 a.m. The strange and supernatural, true stories, and more. Now, this video is, I'm going to share two dreams that I've had after two of my dear friends died. Two different friends at two different years. The first friend is my friend Jessica. Back in 2000, she died in a plane crash. And the other one, you'll hear it in the middle of the video. I'm going to say dream number 2, and that'll be my other friend. Okay. And first I'm going to tell you what happened. And for all of you that are listening, please comment in the box below after this video if you want to hear more. There are a lot of really strange things that happened around my friend's death. Both friends, Jessica and Gary. Okay? This is dream number 1. First, I will begin with telling you what happened to my friend Jessica. At this time, I moved from the big city to Central Valley, California. And I came home from my classes at college, and I had a message waiting for me. So I came home. My family tells me I have a message. I look at the phone number. I notice it's the big city, but I don't recognize exactly the phone number. So I'm thinking, wow, this must be important. So I call back the number, and it's Miss Chang. Now, Miss Chang is the mother of my best friend, who I spent a lot of time with in high school. We were close friends, buddies, okay? So she tells me, I'm sorry to tell you this. And then I say, Miss Chang, just tell me. I can handle it. And she tells me that Jessica died. And I was just how anyone would feel when a good friend of theirs dies. So, yeah. Now, I don't recall exactly how many days, or even if it was a week later after she died. And during that time, I went back to the big city. We gathered up all our friends. We got some beer at that time. We had a bonfire. I bought a bouquet of roses, long stem roses, to pass around to each person, each friend. Each of them would share. I coordinated and orchestrated the whole, the memorial with my friend's help, of course. Long stem rose to each friend, and they would, we would go around the fire, and each share a memory, a good memory of Jessica. And then after we would share that memory, we would throw that rose into the ocean, because that's where her plane went down. So that's what we did. And I drove back to my uncle's house, of course, and I'm pretty sure it was within the week. I fell asleep, and I had a dream. And it was Jessica, and we were in this elevator, and everything was transparent, see-through. I mean, the elevator we were in an elevator in this building with many floors, many rooms. They were all see-through, and it was bright. And I was in the elevator with Jessica. And at first, I thought, wow, when your mind starts adjusting, you start realizing it's more than just a regular dream. It's one of those dreams where you feel what's going on. You're more conscious and aware during the dream. Not every dream is like that. I'm sure a lot of folks out there have had that experience. where you've had a dream that was so out of this world that it felt so real. This was one of those dreams. So me and Jessica are in the elevator and she's talking, and then the elevator stops and the doors open, and she says to me, "I have to go." And I look at her and she's smiling. And I say to her, "I know." And so she smiles again and walks into the floor, walks out of the elevator onto that floor, and she walks off down the hallway. Dream number 2. Now, this happened in 2000. Oh, I'm so bad at this. 2010. I'm going to say 2010, 2011. I feel so bad about that. I've never been able to remember dates really well, or numbers for that matter. This is dream number 2. To tell all of you that are listening, I had a good friend. We became friends quick. He was in his 50s. I was 30, and I was also unable to get in contact with his family to use his name, so I'm gonna call him Garrison, okay? Let me tell you a little bit about my friend Garrison. He, I would see him after church a lot outside, and he would always say hi to me. He wore a hat. He wore a few necklaces on him all the time. He had a beard. That's how it started, and we became good friends. Now here is something you guys will like, what I'm about to tell you. This is how close friends act. Sometimes we act really crazy, but it also shows the closeness that, between two friends, right? One day we were going to go to the mall. We just decided to, okay? So my friend Gary is on his bike and I am wearing flip-flops. So the shopping mall was pretty far away. It was about 7 miles from, I would say 7 to 10 miles from his home, okay? He got on his bike and I was just on foot and I ran with him. I had to run. I'm on foot and he's on his bike, and did that all the way to the shopping mall. I didn't care. That's how close we were. And growing up, most of my friends are older. I just get along with them better. Anyways, now about 3 days before he died, he wanted to play his harp for me. Yes, I said harp, Harp. I was blown away when he told me that. I was thinking, you play the harp? So he said, yeah, come over. And so he played the harp for me. I remember trying to see him about a day after he played the harp. He wasn't answering his doorbell. I was ringing his doorbell. And I should have tried harder, because what happened the next the next day, the third day, I get a phone call from his sister, and which was unusual, from Linda. Linda calls me and says, 1 a.m., I'm sorry to call you like this, but Gary died last night. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. We were just at the mall 2 days ago. And she said, honey, I know. I'm so sorry. Can you come by? I said, of course. See, even Linda knew that we were close, me and Gary, So Gary was Linda's older brother, okay? So after the memorial, we had a memorial. All of us jumped into a car, you know, and we scattered his ashes. They had me sing at his memorial because they knew that I sing. I was a backup singer in a band, and I still am. I'm still a singer. But again, I don't know if it was a few days or a week or 2 weeks later. I have a dream. Again, it's the type where you feel what's going on, you're more aware. And it was Gary, and he wore a derby, kind of a derby slash fedora type hat, and it was him right away, and he had that big smile on his face, and his phrase that he liked to say was miles and miles of smiles, miles of smiles. And I still say that. I text that to my friends to this day. So in the dream, he had his hand up like he was saying hello. But what I really noticed, and the place was bright, just like how it was with the Jessica dream. The place was bright. But in the dream with me and Gary, he had his hand up, he was smiling, and he had a purple belt, sash, girdle, I don't know, but it was around his waist and tied on the side and going down to his knee. When you tie it and that other part, of course, hangs down. So he had a purple belt around his waist. And then I woke up. All right. Well, guys, if you have these strange dreams, or dreams that make you go, or if you want to talk about it, or if you want to talk about some other experiences that you've had, comment me in the box below. I am 1am. This is The Strange and Supernatural. And don't forget, you are never alone.